Asalaam Aleykum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the Sultan podcast. Today we're going to be doing the Tafsir of Surah al-Kawthar. Okay, so I'm going to recite the surah to you, explain what it means, and then I'm also going to tell you about this guy who tried to make a remix of the surah. So let's get into it. The first ayah in Surah Al-Kawthar is Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. Verily we have granted you al-Kawthar. So what is al-Kawthar? There are many differing narrations about what exactly al-Kawthar is. Okay, the first narration that I found was that al-Kawthar is a pond. So on the Day of Judgment there will be a pond that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will have, and he will give water to the believers who will come to this pond. In another narration, it says that al-Kawthar is a river in paradise. Okay, so the description of al-Kawthar in this narration is that it looks whiter than milk, it tastes sweeter than honey, and in it there are birds with long necks like carrots. Okay, but the explanation that I incline to is the one given by Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that al-Kawthar is the abundant goodness. Yani Allah is saying to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, verily we have given you the abundant goodness. And this includes both the pond that will be there on the day of resurrection, the river of al-Kawthar in Jannah, and also all of the good that has come as a result of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam preaching the message of Islam, which is like all of us being Muslim and all of this stuff. So that's the explanation of the first ayah. The second ayah is فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Okay, so pray to your Lord and sacrifice. That's the definition of the translation of this ayah. And I'm taking this directly from Ibn Kathir. The meaning of this ayah is, just as we have given you the abundant goodness in this life and the hereafter, make your obligatory and optional prayer and your sacrifice of animals, like when you're doing Hajj, solely for your Lord. This is just like the ayah in which Allah says, Inna nusuki mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. Verily my salah, my sacrifice, my living and my dying are for Allah, the Lord of all that exists, or the Lord of the worlds. Okay, so Allah is saying to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because we have given you this abundant goodness, you should make your sacrifice solely for Allah. Yani you should devote your life to Allah. Okay, the third ayah, Inna shani aka huwal abtar. Verily he who hates you, or for he who hates you, he will be cut off. Now I have to give you a little bit of context to how this ayah was being revealed. So this ayah was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after a very devastating thing happened to him. He had lost two of his sons. Okay, and the people of Quraysh who disliked his message were going around saying, because this was a belief that they had in pre-Islamic Arabia. In pre-Islamic Arabia, when somebody's sons died, they would say that this person is cut off because he has no lineage, so he will not be remembered. That was the connotation they had with the person who's had no sons, or all of his sons died. So they were going around and saying that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is cut off. So for example, Abu Lahab, his uncle, went around saying that, and he was very happy about that. Al-Asadibnyasin said that about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf also made a statement saying that, oh no, he didn't say that, but he was saying that the people of Quraysh were better than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah is saying, he who hates you, he will be cut off. And you notice, Abu Lahab, Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, Al-Asadibnyasin, unless you studied Sirah, you have no idea who these people are. So the surah has come true just exactly in that. So in terms of what this specifically means, is it has a broad meaning in that he who hates Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and hates Islam, he is a lowly person and he will not be remembered. Yani the people who are enemies of Islam over time, yani none of them are remembered. But it's also applicable specifically to those people I mentioned. Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, who was asked by the Quraysh, who is better, yani us or Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said that you guys are better. Al-As bin Wa'il, who was saying about Rasulullah after his sons died, very insensitive, that he's cut off, and Abu Lahab, who's his uncle. It's different when it's family. Like Abu Lahab would be the one person who you'd expect would at least have some sympathy at that point, right? He was also saying that Rasulullah ﷺ will be cut off. So these are the three people specifically who have been cut off, and we know that, okay, at least for Abu Lahab, we know that he went to Jahannam. I think it's been confirmed in a hadith. I'm not sure which hadith, so don't quote me on that. And yeah, those are the three ayahs. So the meaning of the surah is, as we discussed above, Allah is giving Rasulullah ﷺ the abundant goodness, al-Kawthar, and so Rasulullah should devote his life to Allah and the message of Allah, which he did. And the person who hates Rasulullah ﷺ, he will be cut off. Okay, so there's this guy, he's called Musaylama al-Kadhab. I'm just gonna Google it. Al-Kadhab Surah Kawthar. So Musaylama al-Kadhab literally means Musaylama the liar, for those who don't speak Arabic, because what happened is during the life of the Prophet, toward the ends of the life of the Prophet, and after the life of the Prophet, Musaylama saw that, becoming a prophet is like a really income generating thing. Like Rasulullah ﷺ had 14,000 followers, right? And even though Rasulullah ﷺ wasn't concerned about money and stuff, the Muslims at the end of his life were living considerably better compared to at the start of his prophethood, or when they were chased out of Mecca into Medina. Musaylama thought, hey, this is how I can make a lot of money. So this is how I can get a lot of power. I'm not sure if he was after money specifically. So what he would do, right, is he claimed himself a prophet, and then he would try to make Quran. Okay, so when the surah of al-Kawthar was revealed, he came up with his own remix. Okay, so Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar fasalli rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. He made a surah to the same effect. So the surah started, Inna a'tainaka al-miftah fasalli rabbika wartah. I can't find what the last ayah of that surah was, like his remix of the surah. But notice, Inna a'tainaka al-miftah, verily we have given you the key. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَارْتَعْ. So pray to your Lord and rest. So while Rasulullah ﷺ was revealed to, verily you've been given the abundant goodness, and so you should devote your life to Allah. On the other hand, Musaylama has been given the key, probably to Jannah or something of the sort. So pray to your Lord and rest. Yani you don't have to do as much as Rasulullah ﷺ, because you're better than him, in his mind. Okay? So it's not very creative, but you get the sort of theme that he was trying to do. We've come to the end of the video. That was Tafsir of Surah al-Kawthar. If you liked it, please like, subscribe. Barakallahu feek. Asalaam Aleykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.